welcome back to Snetterton. We're here for the fourth meeting of the BRSCC Quaife Fiesta Championship. Specialised Motorsport have locked out the front row of the grid for the first race, but it's threatening to rain, so tyre choice could prove critical. Sam Priest is out to increase the lead of his championship here today, so without further ado, it's over to you, Richard, for that full grid lineup.
Simon Horrobin and Sam Priest indeed locking out the front row. Horrobin breaking the Priest hold that was had on Class C pole position. We've got Ryan Falconbridge and JJ Ross on row 2, then Nick Sanderson, Alfonso Skritska. Alistair Kellett is on pole for Class D. Peter Dendy-Sadler takes Class A honours in qualifying. Luke Bannister, top of the tree in Class B. A full field of cars ready to negotiate the Snetterton 300 circuit for the second time this year. They were here at the beginning of April, and we had race wins from Aaron Thompson and Sam Priest, who will be looking to try and add more. Very close down the order. Great start from Simon Horrobin, the orange car with the black roof, number 14. The blue roof of Sam Priest is in second position. Jamie going around the outside there of Kevin Sterling. Sterling on his home circuit here. And this the view from Alfonso Skritska, fifth in the championship. Aaron Thompson goes up the inside, tags the back end of JJ Ross, backs out of it. I don't think there was any damage done, and I can't see any problems from those cars. This is the view from Steve Ryan, running in Class D. Class D, of course, the newer shape Fiesta, which has gradually been growing. I think one of the things that perhaps has held it back, if nobody minds me saying so, is it is slower than the STs. And of course the aim for a racing driver is to go as fast as possible. So we're still seeing lots of the STs because the guys in those cars want to go as fast as possible. But the Class Ds have given us some fantastic racing over the course of the last couple of seasons. And to be fair, both categories have very strong entries and great merit, as Steve Ryan goes a little bit wide there, and up the inside was going John Bateman, qualified second in Class A2. John Bateman leads the A class on total points scored, and we've got the issue really with points in that we have the gross points, the total points scored over the 6 rounds that we've had so far. And you can also start to bring into play the drop score rule, because the drivers can drop their worst 2 scores over the course of the season. This is the view from Josh Watkins, and I'll come back to points a little bit later on in the race. Josh Watkins won't drop any scores because he wasn't at the first 2 rounds, first 2 events. So he misses 4 races anyway, but came back at Rockingham, you might remember last time, took 6th position, but had a retirement in race number 2, so he needs some decent race finishes. Nick Sanderson there in number 9. You might have expected to see Nick in his normal silver car, but had some problems with that, so he's in the spare car this weekend. Such is Nick's determination to do well here, and he's got a fairway behind him at the moment. Aaron Thompson, maybe Aaron's steering got knocked askew with that little moment with JJ Ross. Immediately behind them, it's Nathan Edwards running wide, and Nathan looking to have a go there at another returning driver, Scott Robertson. We'll come back to Scott a little bit later on, because we're in car with JJ Ross, and you might be thinking, hang on, I haven't heard that name for a while in this championship. The reason being that JJ's been away racing a Clio, amongst other things, and this is his first meeting of the year. It's good to see him back. So the yellow car we're talking about, JJ Ross, he's the defending champion in this championship, and a good start to his 2016 campaign, qualifying and currently running in 3rd place. Aaron Thompson coming under pressure from Jamie Going. Nathan Edwards tries to go around the outside of Robertson, but ends up running wide. Is Robertson going to get the run? Here's the view from the number 6 car of Josh Watkins. Immediately behind them, there is Nathan going wide. Nick Bowers in green goes up the inside, makes the pass. So Nick Sanderson's got plenty of breathing space before we get the Thompson Going battle, and then Robertson a couple of car lengths down. Jamie Going, the Jam Sport team boss, trying to pile the pressure on Aaron Thompson. Thompson, of course, won the opening race of the year, as I mentioned, and back with JJ Ross. This is the Brundle-Nelson complex. So into Nelson, which leads down into the bomb hole. JJ running a little bit wide there, uncharacteristically for JJ, running third in the race. The two Jam Sport boys are getting involved now as well. The white cars with the green trim. So Scott Robertson, another driver we haven't seen this year. There was talk about Scott moving up into the Renault UK Clio Cup on the touring car programme, and quite a lot of excitement about that, but sadly didn't happen. I'm guessing due to budgetary constraints, but wonderful to see him. And big sideways moment from Aaron Thompson, who collects it up well, but that is going to draw Jamie going back into that battle for position. I was saying how good it is to see Scott Robertson back, along with JJ Ross, the two main protagonists of last year's championship. And I guess both of them feeling that there's still some business to be had. Scott Robertson, I would think, certainly feels there's unfinished business in this championship. Ross, of course, as champion, has been, strangely, as I said, peddling a Clio as well. We're talking about the aspirations of Scott Robertson to go Clio, and JJ's been racing in the Quaife Motorsport News Championship, based predominantly down at Brands Hatch, and he's been turning in some good performances there. So here are the leaders. Simon Horrobin still out front and setting the pace. Sam Priest in second. Sam joint third in total points scored. We heard at the start of the programme that Sam Priest on drop scores the championship leader, and we'll take those more into account, of course, as we go on. But it's also always interesting to look at the overall points picture and see who's been consistent, who's been finishing consistent, who's kept out of trouble, who hasn't had the mechanical maladies over the course of the races. So it's a fascinating aspect of the championship, or any championship where you have drop scores, just to look at both scenarios. Jess King on total point scores leads Class D, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. Alistair Kellett, of course, had that non-finish at Silverstone, but at the moment we're focused on this midfield battle in the C's. As we now go back, having said that, and look at the lead, this is the third place car. So looking back at Ryan Falconbridge from JJ Ross, now we're looking ahead, and it's Sam Priest immediately in front of us. So Specialised Motorsport, the two orange cars, and remember they've got Sam Orange Jones as well. Sam Orange Jones, we'd like to call him in this programme, with his Specialised livery, is running a little bit further back. In fact, Sam has just gone through shot. We're going to pick up on the Class Ds. There is Alistair Kellett nibbling away at the back end of Nathan Edwards. Jess King in the pink and blue car is second in Class D, and immediately behind Jess at the moment is Jamie White, car number 45, the light blue car. So Jess King, the championship leader in terms of the gross point score, and Alistair Kellett will be hoping to turn that over. As you can see, Jess is not that far away behind Alistair at the moment. Alistair having locked out all four pole positions in the championship so far this year, and just the one non-finish that rather nasty looking shunt that we had at Silverstone a few rounds ago, which saw him out of the meeting. I guess lucky, if you could call it lucky, that it happened in race 2 rather than race 1, and didn't prevent him from scoring points in the other race at that meeting. Back in car with Josh Watkins, still looking at the back end of Nick Bowers, and Nick's got 3 or 4 lengths. You can see actually Josh is a little bit closer than the camera would suggest. Then we drop back, you can see the white car of Miles Baker is behind these, just running wide there again is Nick Bowers, and that will give Josh Watkins a little bit of a spur to think that he can certainly get on terms with that machine in front and possibly get involved in the mix and maybe make a pass. One of the great things about Snet now, particularly the either configuration really, the 200 or the 300 circuit, is there are plenty of places to pass. What we're looking at here though, very evenly matched cars, and that's the basis of this championship. They rigorously police this championship, and therefore comes down to setup, comes down to driver ability, and you've just got to try and work out where you can make your way past. Robertson and Sterling involved in battle. Sterling's got up ahead of those guys. Miles Baker coming through, then Sam Oram Jones in orange, followed by Nathan Edwards. in blue and white. There is Miles Baker, took a splendid second position at Rockingham on the 15th of May. In car now, again we go with Josh Watkins, and some pretty fraught racing going on up front at the moment. Oh, and a dive down the inside, and Kevin Sterling's all over the track, and bang! Recovering, Sterling was 2 cars touched. Sterling went to ride. That wasn't Sterling's fault going into Josh Watkins, but it looks to me Watkins is on the grass. It's going to be 2 retirements in succession for him on his return to the championship. So disappointment for Josh Watkins. Hopefully he'll be back out in race number 2. Race number 2, incidentally, the qualifying is a separate set. It's not based on the race positions from this race. It's based on the second fastest lap from qualifying. So we have different qualifying procedures for classes C and the other classes, which are based on the race finishes. Jamie White now up ahead of Jess King, and still Alistair Kellett is the class leader going through. There is White. There is the damaged car of Kevin Sterling, who is about to be passed by Jess King. Jess running 3rd in the Class Ds at the present time. Welcome back to Snetterton. You see the damaged car of Kevin Sterling, who's limping around. Now Kevin will be just trying to nurse that car home now. He's, I guess, trying to work out his driving. We thought he might have maybe pitted, but he, I think, feels that things are okay. Battle on for second place. JJ Ross in yellow, just going out of shot, challenging Sam Priest. Alfonso Skritska trying to close down on Ryan Falconbridge to take 4th place, but this is the battle for 2nd and 3rd. JJ Ross looking at the back end of Sam Priest. Priest, based in Barnsley, has only had 1 non-finish so far this year. Simon Horrobin ahead of him has finished all the races, so Simon therefore top of the gross championship points. The net points will probably tell a different story, and maybe after this race, which is going to make things closer. Here's the view again from JJ Ross. He's going to look down the inside, coming into Riches, side by side going into the corner, but Priest has got the faster line and hangs on to 2nd place. Sam Priest could probably do without this, although to be fair, he hasn't really managed to challenge Simon Horrobin in this race so far. But the last thing he wants to do, of course, as well, is get sucked into a battle with JJ Ross. In fact, that seems to have been extinguished now. Ross has dropped back. So Ryan Falconbridge and Alfonso Skritska. Skritska, as you can see, 4th position. That's JJ that he's chasing at the moment. So Ryan Falconbridge immediately behind. Skritska 5th in the total points scored. Here's the view back from JJ Ross. JJ going into Agostini corner. Good potential passing place there, as is indeed the next left-hand kink, and through goes, I said that one, I said it was a good passing place, and I wasn't expecting to see Ryan Falconbridge go through, but a great move by the Mansfield driver who passes the Hampshire-based man. Great move indeed at the Hamilton kink. Now they're heading down towards the back straight once again. They'll go through Williams corner now and come onto Bentley straight. So Alfonso Skritska down to 5th place, which is where he sits in the championship standings. Hand off the wheel, doesn't overly happy with himself. He's going to have a quick look in the mirror coming under the bridge. So it's Horrobin, Priest 2nd, Ross in 3rd place, Falconbridge followed by Alfonso Skritska. Nick Sanderson trying to get involved as well. He's in 6th place in blue, and then a fair old gap back to, I think, Aaron Thompson running in 7th place at the moment. Thompson, of course, also one of the championship front runners, and weird to see Thompson further back down the grid here after scoring a win on his debut in the seniors back in April. Simon Horrobin looking comfortable. Simon set the fastest lap of the race, averaging out at a shade under 80 miles per hour. We go back in car with Alfonso Skritska, who looks like he's building up some momentum. You can see the parked car of Josh Watkins on the grass there towards the back of the shot, joining David Pugh in retirement. David Pugh in the 77 car retired on lap 2. So Alfonso Skritska had a podium at Rockingham, so we know, looking at his results over the course of the season, another driver that's finished every race so far this year, and I hate to think about possibly putting the curse of the commentator on him, but looking good, and the results are getting better and better for Alfonso. Another driver who we saw in the Fiesta Junior Championship, which is proving a terrific feeder into this particular championship. I was talking about Aaron Thompson, and he's got Jamie Going all over him at the moment, and we slot back to Nick Sanderson, who's closing up on Alfonso Skritska and Ryan Falconbridge as well. Falconbridge here potentially on for his best ever result if he can hang on to it. So here's the view from Alfonso again. Nick Sanderson immediately behind him in car number 9. Nick, again, another driver that's finished every race so far this year, and all of them, bar round 2 here at Snetterton, in the top 10. Sanderson joint 3rd on total points scored in the championship, with Sam Priest coming into this round, and I don't think I mentioned who was 2nd in total points. That's Kevin Sterling, and Kevin, who picked up that damage. So I think that particular situation is going to change. But here we go with JJ Ross again into Brundle, too far back at the moment. His challenge mid to early late race, I think, extinguished for the moment, but back in car with Alfonso Skritska. You can just see this race, for me, probably more than any race that we've seen so far this season, showing how very evenly matched these cars are. And you've got to rely on really a mistake from another driver, so a blistering lap from yourself, or maybe set up to be able to gain something of an advantage, to claw in the gap in front of a driver in front of you, and then of course make the pass. Thompson followed by Going and Bowers, so Nick Bowers trying to close in on that scrap. Top 3 across the line again, in car with the 3rd place man JJ Ross. Still Simon Horrobin the furthest away, as we look at it, of the 2 orange cars. Horrobin has got a good lead here, good Fiesta lead anyway, of about 2 seconds over Sam Priest. Priest has been on the podium at every event so far this year. Bowers and Going pretty much hard at it. Aaron Thompson has broken the toe of the Jam Sport team boss at the moment, but we go back in car with JJ Ross, who might well be closing up again. I thought this was game over with Sam Priest, but he's trying to close in. Then it's a trio, all dicing for 4th place. Ryan Falconbridge there at the moment. You can see in the distance that Ross is closing up on the 2nd place driver Sam Priest. What we can't see here is where Nick Sanderson is. Now, Alfonso may well have a look in the mirror at the moment. He's focusing very much on what's happening. Jamie Going coming under pressure from Nick Bowers. The inside is the traditional pass, but Bowers going to try and carry a bit more momentum here. A wider line out of Agostini. Back in car with JJ Ross, trying to close down on Sam Priest in front of us. So Ross v Priest. Priest still there. Here's Alfonso Skritska running in 5th place. So coming down the main straight, dip under the bridge. There's the race leader. Horrobin goes out of shot now. Then it's Priest, Ross, Falconbridge, Nick Sanderson. We wanted to know how close he was to Alfonso Skritska. The answer is he's right on his boot lid. He's giving a good race here, Sanderson, not giving up at all. Knows that these points could well come into play at the end of the year. And remember, the championship goes right the way to October at the Ford Festival at Brands Hatch. Nick Bowers has now got past Jamie Going, so Bowers in green. Oh, and a little bit of a wide moment there from Jamie Going. Immediately behind him is Scott Robertson in the 62. Robertson feeling his way back into the car. Phil Shaw will be keen to move up. Look at JJ Ross again, piling the pressure on the 2nd place man, having dropped a wee bit the last couple of laps. He's reeled him back in. This is a dogged drive from JJ Ross, and you can see how close he is. It's a relatively defensive line going into Montreal by the 2nd place man once again. So Sam Priest gets a bit defensive. JJ, to be fair, looking side on at that battle. is still 2 or maybe 3 lengths behind. So the Hertfordshire man still giving chase. And to roll out that old cliche, of course, catching is one thing, but actually getting past is another matter. It looks to me as if Sam Priest is going to be settled. I mean, the way he's dealt with it before should be okay, I think, as we go back to JJ Ross. There is Ryan Falconbridge, who's trying to close in on JJ and get involved in the podium party. Back in car with the third place driver and hunting down. Meanwhile, look at this battle in Class D. Absolutely superb. Nothing between first, second and third in this class. Absolutely superb stuff, with James Kellett running 13th overall behind the Class C cars. Remember, these guys start behind the Class Cs. Jamie White and Jess King all involved as well. White's in the difficult position because he's got to defend from Jess King at the same time, trying to close down on the Class D race leader Alistair Kellett, who's going to, I think, take another win. But that remains to be seen as we go back to Simon Horrobin, who's closing down now on Kieran White. Kieran in Class B, running in third place at the moment. Kieran will look in his mirrors. He'll see the Specialised Motorsport car go through, runs nice and wide at Coreham. Good respectful driving, great driving in actual fact from the Class B runner. JJ Ross is through. The second place car, Sam Priest, is through as well. But it's going to be a lights to flag victory for Simon Horrobin and a 1-2 for Specialised Motorsport. There's the checker. Horrobin wins. Second, Sam Priest. Third is JJ Ross. Fourth position, great result for Ryan Falconbridge. And then Alfonso Skritska, followed by Nick Sanderson, Aaron Thompson, Nick Bowers, Jamie Going and Nathan Edwards. 11th was Miles Baker from Sam Oram-Jones. Class D won by Alistair Kellett from Jamie White and Jess King. Jack Uhill next from Stuart Robbins and Tim Glover. Then Dana Freeman and Steve Ryan. 21st was Peter Dendy Sadler winning Class A. Mark Falconbridge next from Tim Bennett. Then John Bateman, Kevin Sterling. Derek Robinson wins Class B from Luke Bannister and Kieran White.
Yeah, the start was pretty good. Just had to be cautious of my teammate there beside me. Just didn't want to get tangled with him in the first couple of laps. But once we got around the first few bends, and then I knew I just had to get the pedal down and just pull enough gap just to try and control that gap. And that's what we was trying to do, just control that gap.
It's getting very close in the championship. We both had a pole, so that's an extra point. And Simon got a win, which he'll get an extra point than me there. So I think I'm in the lead by about 8 points now, which is very close. But it was a very good race and a great result for Specialised Motorsport.
Brilliant race, but it made me work hard.
And Jessica, did she catch you up, or were you able just to fend her off all the way?
No, she was there the whole time. I had to keep watching my mirror. You know, she was right, really close. Just any corner, she could have gone any way, really. And obviously I'm trying to catch Alistair as well, so it's a difficult position to be in.
So Jessica, how does it feel to be back at Snetterton? You're quite at home on the podium here.
Yeah, it feels really good, especially after not getting a podium at Rockingham. It feels nice to be up there again. It was a really, really good, hard race. I really, really enjoyed it.
It's all to play for. Final race of the day. Sam Priest on pole, but will he bring it home in first position? Richard, it's over to you.
Thanks, Rachel. Sam Priest back in his customary pole position. 7th pole from 8 starts so far this year. Alongside is JJ Ross, then Simon Horrobin and Ryan Falconbridge, row 2, row 3, Nick Sanderson and Alfonso Skritska. Alistair Kellett lines up in the second group, pole position in Class D. Class A is Peter Dendy Sadler, he's on pole, and Derek Robinson in Class B. Derek third in the Class B standings coming into this round, but he's going to be making big inroads into that with that win in race number 1. JJ Ross very slightly ahead here, but off the line, no suggestion or no hinting there from me at a jump start. It wasn't a jump start, but JJ had his car placed further up the grid. I'm not sure how much of an advantage that gives him. In car with Nathan Edwards, Kevin Sterling and Nick Bowers in front, Jamie Going down the inside. And Nathan just having a quick look across to see if there's room to maybe go out, take a wide line into this corner, which is the hairpin, but it's the privateer, JJ Ross, that leads this one at the moment. And of course, the key thing there is there are lots and lots of teams. Bit of bumping and boring between Stirling and Going, I think it was, coming down towards Palmer Corner where they are now. In car again with Josh Watkins, who, as you can see, now has a refettled machine and a touch of orange coming into the picture there. That's probably Sam Oram-Jones. There is Sam, centre shot about now on the inside line of the red car and goes down the inside of Josh Watkins. There in 33 is Mark Falconbridge, and here's the view. What a good job we've got a rear-facing camera from JJ Ross, because the front-facing one now is going to be redundant, as it probably was for much of last year. And JJ getting away from Sam Priest second, Simon Horrobin in third place from Alfonso Skritska, and then Ryan Falconbridge after that excellent result. 77 goes for a shot. It's David Pugh, another driver who's an ever-present in the championship this year. Sadly, as I mentioned in race one, had a retirement. That was his second retirement of the year. Best result for David thus far, 8th place at Rockingham in round 6 of this 16-round championship. And this race will bring us to the halfway point, incredibly already, of this year's competition. So some good dicing going on all the way down the order. 33 is Mark Falconbridge, as we've mentioned, and then we get some more of the Class D races. And in the dark grey and red car, Jack Uhill up ahead of Steve Ryan, and we go back in car in the Class Cs with Nathan Edwards looking at the back end of Nick Bowers, car number 31, the lovely metallic green livery. But it's JJ Ross across the line. Ross, Sam Priest from pole position down to second, Simon Horrobin still in third, and Horrobin's having a look here down the inside line and tags his teammate. Horrobin, they won't be talking, or they might be in colourful language after that. Horrobin was looking down the inside and a tag on Priest sends him wide. Here's a look back from JJ's car. Look at Priest, look how well he held it. Sam Priest did a great job there. I'm sure that was unintentional from Simon Horrobin, but that's not the way you want things to pan out on track, let alone for teammates. But JJ Ross still out front, but Horrobin here is showing very, very good pace. I don't think we've had a double winner, have we, so far this year? Just thinking about it, it's been such a competitive and close year this year, because round 1 was won by Aaron Thompson, round 2 by Sam Priest, round 3 was won by Simon Horrobin, round 4 was Aaron Thompson again, round 5 was Sam Priest, and round 6 was Simon Horrobin. So Horrobin here is gunning to try and make it a hat-trick of wins. And as I say, we haven't had a double winner so far this year. Nick Bowers and Nathan Edwards. What a cracking scrap these two are having. And Nathan looks to the outside line. Kevin Stirling is in front of them. You could just see them coming into shot as we watch Alfonso Skritska being chased by Ryan Falconbridge. And then Nick Sanderson, love the fact that he's got the novices cross on the back. Nick Sanderson, anything but a novice, a very accomplished and quick racing driver. So this one again proving to be an enthralling race. And look here at Falconbridge, having tasted 4th position in race number 1, wants it again. He wants to edge up towards that podium. So the Mansfield man certainly, I think, probably benefiting from this being the second meeting here at Snetterton. I talked to a lot of drivers who like to base their racing at one particular circuit. Talk to the Scottish races up at Knock Hill. And I mentioned the championship that JJ Ross races his Clio in, the Quaife Motorsport News Championship, which is based at Brands. And basically, if you have more meetings at one track, you're going to get familiar with that track. You're familiar with the car already. And it means that just that familiarity just gives you that little bit of extra time, and you can see drivers really improving. It's great to see Ryan Falconbridge getting up there. I mean, looking at his results at the year, Falconbridge, 9th in round 1, 7th in round 2, dip in 13th, 2 more 7th places following that, spread over Silverstone and Rockingham before a retirement in race 2 at Rockingham, but now a 4th place in race 1. So really, you would, on that string of results and that improvement, we'd be looking at Ryan Falconbridge. I don't want to put pressure on him to be a potential championship contender. Miles Baker just being passed there, right at the back of shot. You can see the red car we were on board with, Josh Watkins going through, and there is the number 9, the Pinnaker race car consultants machine of Nick Sanderson, and JJ Ross again, the rear facing, actually getting away here from Simon Horrobin in second position. And we need to have a look back as we look across the track and try and see who's where. What we're trying to ascertain at the moment is the whereabouts of Sam Priest. There is Sam. So that excursion off the circuit put him back with Nick Bowers and also Nathan Edwards. So Nathan has spent a fair bit of time looking at the back end of this green machine, so he'll be keen to get past. Here's the run down into the chicane. He's holding on to the racing line at the moment, so maybe thinking about momentum to carry through to elsewhere on the circuit. There isn't room at the moment to go past Bowers. Wondering if the 19 car has picked up some damage from that knock. Certainly got dropped back. And as I said, if you get dropped back that far, because these cars are so evenly matched, and one car being picked, Kevin Sterling, I think, dropping back there. If you do get knocked back, because the cars are evenly matched, it's so difficult to make up ground, particularly when you look at this entry. Granted, we've got 4 classes, but 33 cars in total taking to the grid. And pretty much half of those, the STs, the Class Cs, that are heading the front of the field, the fastest class that we have here racing. So Jamie Going in 46, about to be pounced on by, I was going to say Sam Priest, but Priest is involved in a great battle there with Aaron Thompson, the Romford-based youngster. Goes through, chasing Jamie Going this time. Remember, he was in front of Going in the last one. And Nick Bowers goes back in front of Sam Priest. That's what I was telling you. It's so difficult to make progress once again because all of these drivers have some pedigree. They're all pretty much accomplished racers. What I don't want to do by saying that is put off potential drivers from coming into the championship, because it's a great championship to join either as an experienced driver or as a newcomer. And there's a ladder within this. We've said it before about moving up, coming into Class A or B, and then maybe moving up into Classes C or D. Nathan Edwards now teeing up Bowers again. He's looking at the inside line. Can he go through? Clean and fair racing from the pair of them, and Edwards just couldn't quite get the momentum. Coming through now into Oggie's corner. He's lost a place in actual fact, so that's Scott Robertson coming through. Robertson goes through and manages to pass Nathan Edwards. So Edwards, not the happiest of meetings for him. He's never present in the top 10. He was 10th in race number 1, but he's been a bit further up than that. 4th place at Rockingham and a 5th, and had a 5th here in race 2 back in April. 5th position at Silverstone as well. But again, underlines how competitive this championship is. Kevin Sterling behind him, and then in red, the other onboard we've been looking at, Josh Watkins, car number 6. So this is all very fiercely competitive. Our next round, incidentally, moves to Castle Combe in Wiltshire, which is an incredibly fast circuit, so always tends to produce the odd surprise. So we look forward very much to that visit to Castle Combe, and hope that possibly you'll be able to join us there on race day for that. But look at this scrap in front that we've got at the moment. Here they come across the line. Jamie Going, then Aaron Thompson, Nick Bowers. Sam Priest is trying to recover. Nathan Edwards hedging his bets here. Is he going to go inside and follow through? No, he can't do either in actual fact. So Nathan Edwards still remains behind Scott Robertson at the moment. Thompson and Bowers involved. Jamie Going still there at the head of this little gaggle at the moment. JJ Ross still ahead of Simon Horrobin. So JJ here, race leader. How good will it be for him to perhaps take a win on his return to the Formula, having not raced in the ST Championship, the Oh, and a little mistake from JJ Ross. A rare mistake from Ross over the grass, but recovers in lead position. And Simon Horrobin is now very much ready to pass. Well, there's me waxing lyrical about JJ potentially taking a win. The battle is very well and truly on now. We know that Ross has got the pace, but so too is Horrobin, because Horrobin is posting faster laps. He was closing in. A little wipe on the wipers there for Horrobin, who's going to have a go for the lead. He's closing up big time here, and the Specialised Motorsport logo looms big in the mirrors of the race leader, and he goes through. It's a Brundle. Horrobin goes through and takes the lead. So welcome back to Snetterton, and just before the break we saw Simon Horrobin take the race lead from JJ Ross, who had an uncharacteristic mistake. We're looking there at Scott Robertson ahead of Nathan Edwards. Some superb racing right the way down the field here. As you can see, conditions getting tricky out there. And this is the view from Josh Watkins. Josh still working hard to try and get up in towards the top 10. This is his fourth race of the season. Meanwhile, up ahead, Jamie Going about to be challenged hard here by Sam Priest. Priest, who had a little tap from Simon Horrobin going into Rich's, the first corner where they are now. There is Aaron Thompson, 41, ahead of 51, Nick Bowers, and then 62 is Scott Robertson. Nathan Edwards down towards the back of this gaggle. Kevin Sterling is in behind the man who retired from the first race, but the race leader is once again Simon Horrobin. Simon with the fastest lap again. There's absolutely no doubting his pace here. So Horrobin, having said that he's got the pace, he's still only a little bit ahead of JJ Ross. JJ not really letting go of this second position. Horrobin won the first race by a couple of seconds, and it'd be interesting to see whether he can get away here from JJ now he's got past. You have to say that was that little mistake, that run wide from James Ross, that caused that problem. But Horrobin out front. Now this is significant because Horrobin here looking to make it 3 wins in succession. He'll be the first driver this year, if he stays in front, to secure a double win. We haven't seen that so far this year. Now, that's the kind of thing that starts to say championship winning campaign. Far too early, I guess, really to speculate on it, and Simon probably won't thank me for doing that. But look at Ross here, looking racy, wide line through the bomb hole and putting the race leader under pressure. This is not game over at all. We shouldn't even be thinking about championships, we should be thinking about the race. And JJ Ross wants to win the race. Into Murray's, the left-hander, now along the centre straight. Watch for the entrance to the pit lane. Neither of these drivers are going to pit. There it is on the right. And now they'll buzz the pit wall. It's one of the most exciting places, the pit wall here at Snetterton, to watch racing if you're privileged enough to maybe get the chance to watch from trackside, from the pit wall here. One of the few tracks that doesn't have the great big wire mesh fences. I think that was Jamie Going slowing up, because scything past him is half the field, plus Josh Watkins, who we were on board with. Josh now chasing Kevin Sterling. Aaron Thompson still at the head of this group of cars, and Nathan Edwards still busy challenging. Remember, Nathan, new graduate from the Fiesta Junior Championship, and acquitting himself very well in his first season of senior racing, and now looks down the inside. An opportune pass here, an attempted pass on Nick Bowers, who went wide, and Bowers, because he went wide, had a little bit more momentum coming out of Montreal, hangs on to position, and Nathan Edwards has got to try and find a different area on the circuit to make the pass. Runs out wide there on the exit of Palmer, coming down now into Agostini. If you're close enough, a pass on the inside, which will be right of shot. I don't think anybody's in a position to do so here. Watkins looks around the outside line of Kevin Sterling, immediately in front of him. So let's see what Josh can do. We've had some think he's lost a wiper, hasn't he, by the look of it, the driver's side wiper. And we've had some great in-car footage from Josh Watkins, and just has not had that little bit of extra edge to go past. And again, that shows you just how easy it is to make a mistake on the ground. Look how much time he's lost on Kevin Sterling in front. So Josh Watkins now, I know he'll probably close up again, but that just goes to show you how the tiniest little mistake can just force you to run wide. And the driver's having to deal with some very tricky conditions. So we're looking at Stuart Robbins in the Indigo car there, chasing Jamie White, who's second in Class D. Alistair Kellett still leading the D class, and here's JJ Ross, who is still chasing Simon Horrobin. Horrobin, race leader, great move, you have to say, to close in. He had that was probably a little bit of a gift for him, that gap coming down like that after JJ's mistake. But JJ's not finished yet, and Simon Horrobin's going to be looking in his mirrors here. Lost his Quaife sticker off the top of the windscreen finally, but we'll give Quaife a shout out nonetheless and thank them for their very valued support of this championship. And look at JJ Ross, Quaife sticker intact and still intact in car number 4 in second place and challenging for the lead. Here's the view down to Palmer. Horrobin slightly defensive, no, well, maybe not, goes out wide, takes the racing line, grabs the curb on the apex of Palmer. How close can JJ get? He's certainly closer than the last time we were in an onboard at that corner, which was with Josh Watt. Look at the gap that the first two have got. And now coming through on the inside, JJ Ross gets him. Ross passes for the lead, but Horrobin's going to return the favour here, looking up the inside. And Horrobin has placed his car well here because it's the inside line coming up into Hamilton. The left-hand kink. JJ gets across, still maintains the lead, runs a little bit wide. Simon Horrobin, having taken the lead, is back down and now dives to the inside again. Superb move to recapture the lead by Horrobin, but one runs wide and JJ Ross goes back into lead position. Horrobin once again is down to second. Well, I said at the end of race 1 it was lights to flag for Horrobin, and this one is anything but that. A real game of cat and mouse. It's slippery out there, it's added to the drama, and it's JJ Ross still out front. But here comes Horrobin. Horrobin's going to look down the inside line now into Brundle again. He was quick here last time. He reclaims the lead again at the point where he originally took the lead in this race. So Simon Horrobin has got that car, and that to me just shows you it's about setup and driver ability. Simon Horrobin's car clearly well set up to go into that corner. I'm taking nothing away from JJ Ross, but his car probably working well on different points of the circuit. JJ still chasing very hard indeed in second position, but what a race we've had from these two. It's been an absolute belter. Ross versus Horrobin. Horrobin looking to make it a double. Will he be able to hang on? Ross is having a very good go here as they come up towards the checkered flag. Ross comes out of the slipstream, but Horrobin makes it 3 on the bounce and a double. JJ Ross second from Alfonso Skritska in third, then Nick Sanderson, Ryan Falconbridge from Sam Priest, Aaron Thompson, Scott Robertson, Nick Bowers, Nathan Edwards, Kevin Sterling in 11th place. The Class D honours go to Alistair Kellett from Jamie White and Stuart Robbins in third. Class A is won by Tim Bennett from Peter Dendy Sadler. Class B won again by Derek Robinson from Kieran White and Luke Bannister.
Simon, congratulations, another first. Was it the start that did it for you, or did you just wait for your moment during the race?
Well, no, we got off the start quite well, and obviously JJ got even a better start and he got into the lead. Then I was a bit quicker than the Sam, I think, and I was trying to get past Sam. We just touched into the bend 1, then obviously he got back to somewhat. Got a chase on with JJ, finally caught him. It was a good tussle, got in front of JJ. But that was because of the rain, and his car didn't suit the rain as much as mine did. Then it was just nip and tuck right to the line.
Had you anticipated the rain, or was it just luck that you like playing out there in the rain?
Well, yeah, just luck really, and it suited us, it suited the car, it didn't affect me at all.
And you've got quite a team behind you, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got a lot of teams, mechanics and all that. He's my little mechanic here. This is my mechanic. He does all my wheels and tracks my car up for me. So he's my head mechanic's little boy.
And is this what you want to do when you grow up, be a mechanic?
Nah, yeah, I do. I just want to help other people, like help in Formula One, and then help my brother in the season and Simon.
So you're going to be coming along every race?
Yeah,
Well, I look forward to seeing you and good luck.
thanks.
And to you too, Simon. Looking forward to seeing you at Castle Coombe.
No problem. See you, Castle Coombe.
I'm a little bit upset because I had it in the bag and I threw it away.
Alfonso, that seemed to be a race of numerous parts and more than countless incidents, but you kept yourself clean, came home in third.
Yeah, well, luckily, as I'm losing my voice, I was quite happy to be here because I felt really rough with a fever before. But it was a really tough race. A few people behind had Sanderson and Falconbridge behind, so defending them off was quite a tough race, but it paid off in the end and got fourth in the first race, so I'm happy with fourth in the third.
What thoughts went through your mind when the rain started to come down towards the end?
I thought it was going to make it a little bit exciting because you never know what can happen, whether the gaps get closer or further away, so you never know. So I thought it might make it a closer race, but luckily the rain stayed away.
And what's the adrenaline rush of a podium finish doing for your fever?
Yeah, it makes it a little bit better, it makes it much better to be here.
Worthwhile turning out of bed this morning then, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, definitely, thank you.
Congratulations. Hope to be seeing you on the podium again soon.
Hopefully that'd be very nice, thank you.
Alistair, do you ever get bored of winning?
No. It was a lot easier that time because I got away because Jamie got shoveled out onto the grass with an SD and I got a gap and himself and Stuart started battling, so I just kept going, kept the head down, didn't look in the mirrors and pulled away.
It'd been nice to have been a bit closer, but we had an okay start, but then we got ran wide by one of the STs, which just put us on the grass, and then we dropped back to third. We just had to fight it back up again.